What's up, everybody? We are back with another episode of Sit and Talk Sports. I am your host, The Commish, coming to you live from Boston, Mass. You can find us on the web, Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that Sit and Talk Sports. And live in the group, Sit and Talk Sports. Come check us out. Today we got a good show coming to y'all, man. We're going to keep it going. We got AD, we got Lou, we got Noah. We're going to bring y'all energy twice a week, Mondays and Wednesdays. So join in. Hit that link, subscribe, Sit and Talk Sports on YouTube. We need those subscriptions. Let's support the movement. What's up, fellas?
What's going on, fellas?
Brothers, I see my man Lou back safe in the States.
I'm in the airport, man, trying to get back to Boston, you know.
Hey, what's up with them Giants? What's up with them Giants, Noah?
Straight to it, huh, DC?
Let's talk about that. Let's just jump into that. What's up with them Giants? What's their record?
Right now, we're struggling a little bit. Like I said, it's going to take a little bit of time for everything to come to cohesiveness. We lost Slayton. We lost Shepard. We're down to one operating receiver. I think Kenny Golladay had a decent game. Obviously, Saquon had his breakout game. He had his most snaps. I keep telling you that it's going to take a little time to see cohesiveness in terms of all of our weapons being on the field at the same time. Not once this season have we had a game where we have all of our weapons available. And I mean, injuries are a part of the game, but at the same time, I'm thinking long term. Like I was telling AD last week, we're not rushing nothing. Our core is all under 24 years old. Like we don't have to rush anything. Let it take its time. Let it maturate. I mean, this year it wasn't about the Super Bowl. It was about putting these pieces together, seeing if we can gain continuity as a unit. Obviously, we still need to strengthen that offensive line a little bit, but we're going to have the time, we're going to have the resources to do so. You know what I'm saying? This is not a short-term play. It's a long-term play for us. I like the pieces we have. Evan Ingram's back and healthy. If we can get everybody healthy, get on that practice squad and start building chemistry, start building harmony as an offense, you'll see a different team.
What you think, AD?
I agree with you, Noah, with the what ifs and all this, if that happens. But all that's not happening right now, and y'all 0-3, and y'all ain't shit. So at the end of the day,
straight to a high.
At the end of the day, it's about getting W's. It don't matter who's on the field. Next man up mentality, and y'all next man up mentality is Basuda.
Fair.
Judge right. But I do like what you're saying about your long term. Y'all definitely have a nice core that could be developed in the next 2 or 3 years. I definitely understand where you're coming from with that. But with that being said, organizations are not that patient anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I understand what you're saying, that we're young, they're all under 24, but people are quick to move. I know football is not like basketball as much, but at the same time, this generation of athletes really don't care about staying on one team.
We're going to have some decisions to make. I think I brought it up when you mentioned Saquon not playing his full snap count. That fifth-year option for first-round running backs is critical to salary cap. It's critical to just team development. Obviously, he's had some injuries where it's a serious consideration where we have to look at, can we invest into this kid long term? And that's going to be a question that they have to sit down with him and ask him to, consider all the variables, consider as many games as he's missed, consider all the things that they still have to work on in order for that team to actually be competitive in terms of the NFC conference. But like I said, this was never a right now play for us. Like I don't think any Giants fan was thinking realistically like, yo, we about to get a chip this year. I think it's really for us to just use these opportunities to develop. But like you said, AD, I mean, it all boils down to winning and losing. I'm saying right now we're not doing a lot of winning, so the criticisms are fair. I'm not going to object to the criticism simply because I'm a fan. I don't let my fandom or my fanaticism override common sense. You feel what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So as it stands now, we're not winning, and I'm not fucking happy about it. I don't want to sit there like I'm happy about it. I was on the phone with my grandpa's earlier today going crazy. But the reason it's the fashion in which we're losing the games. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's not like we're just outclassed. You know what I'm saying? We're in these games, we're competing. And there's just no reason that we're losing to Atlanta. You know, Atlanta's clearly not playing to their potential, but to lose close games like that, those are the worst games because, you know, it wasn't necessarily a matter of just being outclassed. It was just a matter of a few mistakes. You made more mistakes, and that made your margin for error was probably smaller than the other teams, and you didn't capitalize on that. So the way we're losing these games isn't fun. Losing any kind of game ain't fun. But what I'm saying is, for me, as a long-term Giants fan, as a lifetime Giants fan, it's really about watching the way this comes together for us.
That's a great way to break down a team that's 0-3. But what's up with tonight's game? Who y'all got? Who you got,
Game
DB?
tonight, man, it's gonna be interesting, man. I mean, actually, my man Lou ain't blessed us with. Go ahead, Lou. Handle this one first. I'm gonna jump in after.
I wanted to jump in on that Giants situation you was
Go ahead.
talking about.
You're right.
Like, so I followed Eli for many years, okay, and I was rooting for them, certainly to win the Super Bowl after their second one. But the context in which Eli was pushed out the door and Danny Dimes came into play, I don't agree with you in terms of this rebuilding concept that people may have had. I think that the Giants fans expected some sort of championship hardware when they removed, Eli out of this equation. And you also put a lot of pressure on Saquon. Saquon, in his little bit of time, proved his worth. But we clearly see that he's not going to be the determining factor whether they get over the hump, win playoff games and win championship games. But, I just don't see the city, the organization, and certainly the fans being as patient as you are.
Not in New York. Not in New York.
No. I mean, like I said, I was on the phone recently with my grandpops going crazy. The only thing that I've really disagreed with in terms of management, I didn't understand why we paid Odell and then shipped him. And granted, I love Jabril Peppers. I love Jabril Peppers. That's just, you can't, I mean, what is it? In full retrospect, given what Odell's dealt with in terms of the injuries, we can say that, but in terms of just pound for pound, what we got for Odell, I didn't like. I think we could have gotten more in terms of if we were looking to win now. I think what we did with Odell, obviously the picks of Jabril Peppers, that might have played into what I'm saying, the long-term game, but I'm not giving up Odell Beckham Jr. at the spot he was at. He was a top 5 wide receiver in the game. I don't think we were fairly compensated for Odell.
But if you remember, he was a huge distraction. Him and Eli got into it a little bit. And then when Danny Dimes came in, they said, we don't want this polarizing figure to destroy our future's confidence. And I think there was a little rift in the beginning with those two. I'm not getting the ball like I should. I'm the baddest receiver out here. So I think they said this guy's production on the field is not worth what he can destroy in the clubhouse. That's just my feeling.
And I disagree with that. Like, some players, you might just have to deal with a little bit of their bullshit. From what I understand, Deion Sanders wasn't an easy person to deal with either, but he was just that good where you had to kind of deal with that. I've heard that about a lot of superstars in terms of just being a diva and being, entitled a little bit and being a bit of a brat. I think that kind of comes with the territory. Obviously, I'm not condoning that, but what I'm saying is I'd rather Odell having tantrums on the sideline with the kicking net than to be on someone else's team catching one-handed touchdowns for them. You dig what I'm saying? The juice ain't worth the squeeze to me.
So let me ask y'all this, fellas. There's the Jets who's 0-3, the Giants who's 0-3, the Colts who's 0-3, and the Jaguars who's 0-3. Oh yeah, and I forgot about the Lions, right? Out of those teams, which one do you think has the best potential to turn it back around?
The Giants, easily. It's us. We have the most talent. You know what I mean? Even if you were just looking for from a roster construction, even if you were looking at it at a familiarity standpoint, all of our players know our system. A lot of those other teams are learning new systems. And it's really difficult to kind of succeed on the fly while you're adopting a new system, adopting new teammates, adopting new schemes, learning new playbooks. All of our starters are returners. You know what I mean? We didn't really bring in any new rookies that are going to be impactful other than the kid that we took out of Florida, Kadarius Toney. And I'm still waiting for him to get right. He was ill going into the beginning of the season. We lost a bunch of receivers this week, so I'm hoping that young boy out of Florida gets an opportunity because he's a problem. He's a big problem, though. But yeah, easily the Giants.
What you think, Lou?
I agree with him, and that's why I say that people aren't patient. They want wins. They want some sort of championship. There's There's no reason why they shouldn't be at a greater level than what they are. I know injuries happen. We all know injuries are part of the game, but I just thought, and I think the people thought that Danny Dimes was going to be that polarizing figure that can get him over the top no matter who he's playing with. Because he checks all the boxes, man. He got the skill set, but I don't know what he's doing in terms of
he hasn't played bad. He hasn't played bad.
But I actually think he plays good. I think he's actually playing well this
he's
year.
Mitigated a lot of the biggest issues that I had with him was the turnovers. Now, again, as a lifetime Giants fan, I was sick to my stomach when we didn't say Dwayne Haskins. I watched Dwayne Haskins throw 50 touchdowns at a pro program over at Ohio State, and then we opted for this kid. And I mean, to kind of go on a quick tangent, it's so critical, especially when you're a young quarterback. When you're a young quarterback and you're kind of getting thrown into the fire, it's so critical what you're going into. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think Sam Darnold was a bad quarterback. I watched Sam Darnold in college. If you put these quarterbacks in these situations where the offensive line is a complete question mark, there are no skill players around them. And I think that has a lot to do with why Tom Brady said, listen, I can't keep doing this. I can't keep doing this. Like, you guys are asking me to make a dollar out of 15 cents. And I don't think it's fair for the younger quarterbacks. It's definitely not fair for any quarterback. But, you know, you get these guys into these situations, and there's a lot of it going on, especially this year with the 5 rookie quarterbacks, where there's decisions kind of have to get made. And I think if you're able to, you should absolutely let your first round quarterback ride that pine, learn. There's so much about this game that is so different from what they are used to. You know what I mean? A lot of these quarterbacks, they was the best kid in their town, best kid in their state, went to big programs. They don't know what perseverance is. They don't know how to overcome losing. And I think that has a lot to do with the psyche of these young dudes. Like Sam Darnold is a winner, winning all his life. He gets to the Jets, he can't even get down the field. That'll damage a quarterback. So I think just the overall management of these quarterbacks has to look a little different. That's selling Galladay injury for mad money. It wasn't necessarily mad money, and I mean, not for nothing. Galladay's last season, he was a top 7 receiver in the league in terms of production. I was really happy about the Galladay signing.
I'm glad you brought that up, Noah.
I got a question real quick.
Go ahead.
Y'all realize we're going on 17 minutes on a 0-3 team? Yeah, let's get up out of here.
D.
Let's get up out of here,
bro.
Let's get our predictions. Let's get our predictions for tonight.
All right, I got the Cowboys in a tough NFC East battle. There ain't really too many blowouts that happen in the NFC East, especially on prime time. I got a nice close game. Cowboys 26-21.
Look,
I'm going with the underdogs. You know, I love my guy Jalen Hurts. I think the game will come down to something he has to do special in the last quarter. But like AD said, it's going to be a dogfight. I don't see any blowouts, anything like that. And these are 2 premier quarterbacks in prime time going at it. I can't wait.
Did you just say premier quarterbacks? Did you just call Jalen Hurts a premier quarterback?
Absolutely. He's the future.
He's fucking shit.
He's the future.
Yo, AD, you gotta relax.
He is shit.
The show just
Are you
started.
serious? Dak is elite. Prescott, Jalen Hurts. Man, you let that little midget Tua take his spot. Come on.
Now, this is a big question I had, and I don't know. I'm sure we got a lot of fantasy football guys in here. The reports coming out of Dallas's backfield were really concerning to me in terms of them saying they're reducing Zeke snaps. I mean, this is a dude who's giving you 300-plus carries every season, almost injury-proof. You know, now, granted, they made him the highest-paid running back of all time, and obviously, it's a matter of business. You have to protect your assets. You have to protect your investments. They paid him $90 million to a running back. But I don't like how they're featuring Tony Pollard. I believe Tony Pollard out-touched Ezekiel Elliott last week. Now, that's no knock at Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard was good. But when you have a talent like Ezekiel Elliott, you're not playing your best football every time he's not on the field. And if you're doing this by design, where the majority of your run plays and you're letting your backup out-touch Ezekiel Elliott and he's fully healthy, I think that's a big either warning sign or either something's not right or I don't know what's going on, but you don't not feature Ezekiel Elliott. Not when he's probably been the most consistent running back in the league over the last 5 years. All that to say, I think Dallas did some small upgrades in terms of their defense, but there's glaring holes in that defense. You know what I mean? If they actually want to compete and actually live up to some of the standards and the expectations of the Dallas Cowboys, I don't know what it's going to take. I think it was a mistake paying all the money that they paid on offense. Amari Cooper got big money. Zeke got big money. And, of course, Dak held out and he got his paycheck. But when you pay that much money, there's a cap. You know what I'm saying? There's a salary cap in this game. And then you leave yourself so susceptible on defense. And you've already seen premier offenses. You lost to arguably one of the top 2 or 3 offenses in the league. So that shows you don't even have enough firepower to just rely solely on your offense. So something needs to happen. One of those contracts need to move, and they need to go ahead and strengthen up that defense so they can be a little more balanced so they're not expecting Dak to do everything because, I mean, not for nothing. What has Dak done in the playoffs? I don't think Dak has the resume for you to be like, okay, do everything. I don't think he's proven that to us yet. But in regards to tonight, I mean, they're playing in Dallas. I think it's going to be a little higher scoring than what AD said. I got the Cowboys winning 34-28. 34-28 Cowboys at home.
You know, and another thing in regards to Zeke, we know what Zeke can do. Right now, I think it's best for the best interest of the team going forward in the playoffs. They need to give the load to somebody else. I don't care who it is, because we know what Zeke's going to do in the playoffs. And I think Jerry, along with coaching staff, they understand that they're going to need him later on. You know what I mean? So I don't think he needs that rhythm like you're referring to, Noah, that he should be getting the bulk of the snaps. It's sort of like the Saquon argument that you had. You know, work him into it, work him into the season, get the kinks out.
He's
I don't know.
healthy. And this is one of my fears.
I don't know if he's healthy.
I mean, he has no injury designations, and by rule, you have to report those. You can get fined if you don't report injury designations on these players in the NFL. So they're not reporting them, and I don't think Jerry Jones is just willingly tossing away money to save face. But moreover, when Mike McCarthy came over from Green Bay, Mike McCarthy already had the mantra of being a running back killer. You know, we've seen what he did with a decent running back talent in Green Bay. He's so pass-oriented, and he's so willing to feature these quarterbacks. I was nervous at the signing because Mike McCarthy does not feature that run game the way he's supposed to, regardless of the talent. And now we're seeing it manifest where you're fucking letting Ezekiel Elliott's backup out-touch him when he's completely healthy. Again, when your best player is not on the field, you're not helping yourself. All that, like, and this is why I agree with AD. Fuck all that preserving shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm paying you $90 million. I need you on the field. You're completely healthy. You have absolutely no excuse to not be on that field. And I mean, I think if we could ask Zeke a gamer. Zeke been a gamer since high school. I'm sure he's not happy about his backup out-touching him and he's completely healthy, scheme or no scheme. Zeke is one of the best catching running backs in the league. So it's not a matter of, we was down and we had to pass the ball. Pass the fucking ball to Ezekiel Elliott.
To add on to that, Noah, right, what you said earlier, you want me to tell you what they're doing to Zeke? That reminds me of that song that happened a few years ago. They're doing the Todd Gurley, to him. They're really doing the Todd Gurley to him.
Right. Load managing.
Right. And then,
but he's healthy.
But like you said, bad knees. But like you said, right, the mental toll is going to have on you. Is going to destroy you. You know what I mean? So then now they're going to try to trade Zeke, right? And then his value is not going to be as high as it was,
right? Because
y'all haven't you try to preserve him instead of.
But I mean, value or no value, they still owe him 3 years on a $90 million. So right. they don't even get to dictate his value. His value is set in stone. Somebody's got to absorb that contract if they try to ship him, which is bad. If I was them, I'm shipping Amari Cooper. As much as I love Coop since Alabama, I'm shipping Amari because CeeDee Lamb has proven that he can be a wide receiver one. And then you got Gallup, who's currently injured, but you're paying Amari a lot of money. And right now, I don't think I would consider Amari Cooper to be a top 5 wide receiver, but he's being paid like one. And again, you have these gaping holes on your defense.
Amari Cooper is definitely not a top 5 wide receiver.
He's getting paid like that.
Yeah, never has, never will be.
Right.
You know, but Noah, if you look at the past few games, something is wrong with Zeke. Zeke always eludes the first defender in his way. He's been getting tackled by single DBs. Something's wrong. I don't know if it's a turf toe.
Like I said,
he's not looking right. Bro. He's not looking right.
I mean, they started. I'm a big fantasy football player, so I started doing my research on these dudes come OTAs. So I'm reading up on in April. They were saying in April that they're going to limit some of the touches for preservation. They want to preserve them. But moreover, Zeke came into camp down about 12 pounds. I don't know if you guys saw game one and have you seen that?
Yeah.
The brother looks lean. The brother looks dedicated to play this to play his position, and it's just not happening. Like you say, the mental part of being paid. He's the highest paid running back in the league, and he's getting outsnapped by his backup. That's not helpful. That's not helping him. That's not helping the team. So I'm gonna be interested to see what they do. Obviously, every team in the NFC East is the ops. So I hope Dallas implodes. I hope Philly implodes too. Washington too. Fuck all of them. Go Giants.
Let's talk. You know what, DC?
What y'all think about what y'all thought about St. Louis, the Rams, that Ram and the Bucks game?
Man, Matthew Stafford got Budweisers in his pocket all the time, man. That boy gonna go out there and do whatever he want to do and laugh about it. Shout out to
He looked like a G. He looked like a G.
Matthew Stafford,
5,500 yards.
Matthew Stafford showed exactly why they went and got him. You know what I mean? Like that's all that was to me. I thought Tampa's secondary got really exposed.
Oh yeah.
I thought for the first time this year, Gronk looked old.
He got cracked.
Right. But even before but before he got cracked, he dropped the 3rd and 5 that would have put them at the 10-yard line. Then he tried to one-hand a touchdown between a cover 2. I mean, with Jalen right there, like, oh, what are you doing? And he looked, he couldn't get to it. You know what I mean? So I look at it like, even though the Bucs secondary looks that bad, right? With the injuries, Brady still threw for 432 yards on that defense. They missed a field goal.
The fumble.
Right. The fumble. Gronk basically drops 2 touchdowns. Like, they're right there in the game. So I look at it as that secondary let them down. They might want to holler at Richard Sherman immediately. Like, they might have to, like, I know they already did, but they're gonna have to jump back at that.
Where's he at with the Achilles? He's almost ready, right?
Yeah, he like I guess I don't know how true it is. The reports are, but I know the Bucs reached out to him last, like, I want to say either 2 weeks ago or last week, and I guess they gave him an offer and he turned it down. So I don't know how true that is, but I did see on the ticker on ESPN that he definitely did reach out to the Buccaneers.
Real quick, while you're on the Bucs, AD, I just want to say 2 words to you, Michael Evans. We could keep moving forward.
Now I'm glad you brought that up because you're gonna help my point. Who was Jalen Ramsey covering most of the game? Don't lie.
He played 51% of snaps on Mike Evans, and that's a fact, AD. I already did the research. I knew I was ready for you.
No, he didn't.
51% of passes he was guarding Mike Evans.
No, they just brought this up on ESPN earlier, brother. He guarded Chris Godwin more, and what was so impressive about Jalen Ramsey is that he played inside.
Jalen Ramsey goes wherever he wants because he's that good.
Right. He's versatile like that. But most of his snaps were inside on Chris Godwin. You
didn't see how much they used Mike Evans in the slot, AD, on the seams this week? They had Gronk spread out wide. They were bringing Evans into the half.
That happened. That happened, though. That definitely happened.
I was waiting for you, AD. I woke up early this morning, baby.
Mike Evans had most of his catches on number 22. I forgot my brother's name.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm not saying that Brady was road to Jalen Ramsey.
Like I told you. And you see Mike Evans is getting mad because Brady ain't looking at him the same way.
Right, but we had this conversation 2 weeks ago. What has Mike Evans done in those 2 weeks?
Yeah, he's balling, bro. Everybody's gonna eat, right? But I told you he's gonna fall a little short of the 1,000. He only had 1,065 last year. He just had 13 touchdowns.
And now he's got an extra game to do it, AD. He easily gets 1,000.
I'm with you. No, I get it.
1,000 yards is only 60 yards a game, AD. And less than that, if you got 17 games, it's 50-something yards a game.
I get it.
It's different.
What do you have game one though?
On the year, he has almost 300 yards.
No. What did he have game one? I didn't say on the year. How many catches did he have game one?
Give me 1 second. I'll tell you. I know on the year he has almost 300.
Because he had
But
either
AD,
uno, he had either uno or dos.
I thought we've already established he's great number fillers. He fill up the boxes, but crunch time, he's not going to be the man. Brady's not going to go there.
Nah,
And look what happened.
Luke, you
He has a
agree with me.
successful game, and they end up losing.
No, it's two games in a row, Lou. Y'all said this 2 weeks ago. It's 2 games in a row. He's led the team in targets and yards.
Yep, I'll give you that. 2 weeks in a row, he killed.
Like I said.
That's right.
But that Falcons game don't really count, bro. Like anybody can.
Me and you could go out there and get 100, right?
Thank you, cuz. They scored 48 points. Like, my God. Like, Jesus.
Brady's just buttering him up. You know what I'm saying? He's giving him his touches now. You don't complain later on.
But a lot of people ain't talking about that though. Antonio Brown didn't play yesterday, and Brady threw for 423 yards against the number one passing defense in the league.
And not for nothing, AD. This is our first time welcoming the good brother OJ Howard back, and he looked decent coming off that Achilles.
He did.
And I mean, I think you mentioned this in our first installment, AD. Tampa has 3 tight ends that anybody would love to have starting for them. Definitely. They got a 3-man rotation at tight end. They got the deepest receiving corps in the league. They're the best receiving corps in the league. I mean, I'm not letting this loss really bother me because, I mean, we know what Tom is about. If that game happened in January, there's no way it goes like that.
This what it is, right? This what I got out of this game, right? As a week 3, the Rams are the best team in the NFL. After 3 games, they're the best team in the NFL right now.
Oh yeah, Stafford. He's a
so after 3 games, the Rams are the best team.
Yeah,
that's what I got. DC as an MVP.
And then in the NFC, DC, right? My top 3, the Bucs dropping my power ranking.
Let me ask y'all a question. Let me twist it up real quick. After these 3 games, I know it's still early, but who's surprising you right now? What team?
Carolina.
Carolina?
I didn't expect them to. First of all, I don't like that coach, Mark Rule. But I will give him props. Everywhere he goes, he changes it around. He changes the culture around. So I will give him that. I just don't like him. He just rubs me the wrong way. But I'm surprised Carolina's balling like that.
Who's they played, Eddie?
Good question.
Nobody.
Good question. But like I said, I had no expectations for Carolina. I really had them like going like 6-11.
I mean, I think they
7-10. I didn't really have them. I had them being competitive, but at the end of the day, they suck. I mean, that's the end of the result.
I sent my man a text at 7:30 on Thursday because he picked up Chuba Hubbard in our fantasy league, and I sent him the middle finger emoji because I called it. I said at 7:30 before the game, I said McCaffrey's going to get hurt. That's a good pickup. You grabbed his backup last week. He can't sustain that style. They're too reliant on him. He's proven now 2 years in a row that he can't maintain that workload. And the reason why he can't maintain that workload, and this is a point that I meant to bring up a while back, running backs aren't the same now, and I know we criticize it for being a passing league, but they've eliminated the fullback. There's no more fullback. So we're used to these smash mouth feature backs that are running this ball. But the reason they were able to do that, the reason we saw Emmitt Smith and those dudes doing that is because there was Mike Allstats. You know what I'm saying? There was fullbacks absorbing that first blow, preserving these running backs. So when it's become a passing league, we've literally lost the position. I mean, when's the last time somebody drafted a fullback? When's the last time you've seen a fullback worked into like a scheme? There's no really.
The 49ers, the highest paid fullback in the NFL.
Right, Juszczyk?
Yeah.
Shout out to him with the big touchdown last night.
Exactly. He's that dude for fullbacks. Yeah. I mean,
and that's why they're the number 1 rushing team in the league over the last 3 seasons.
Nah, Baltimore Ravens are, but good try.
No. Over the last 3 seasons in San Francisco. Accumulatively, AD. San Francisco's number 2.
Yes, sir.
I woke up early. Yeah, I woke up early.
Hey, Lou. What you think about the Bears quarterback, man? What's going on with him over there?
You know, I can't give a true assessment. He was running for his life, man. 9 sacks. I mean,
Nah,
Tom Brady couldn't help him. Michael Vick, Randall Cunningham.
nah,
Nobody could help that dude.
nah,
And,
Nobody.
you know,
Nobody.
nah.
the coach
I
said
got
all 3 QBs are in play as a starting quarterback. They're probably like, listen, you go out and play. I'll be the backup this week. You know, they just,
yo.
I don't even know how you even address that, you know, that whole situation. But that was terrible.
Let me tell y'all something. Cause I've been wanting to talk about this. Right? What's that coach name? Agnew. What's his name? What's the Bears
Doesn't,
coach name? Who
doesn't
gives
matter.
a shit? Right?
Right.
Anyway, right? Yo, he has let every quarterback he has touched it with the Bears down. He has let down Trapinski. He has let down Andy Dalton. He has let down this Fields, and he's gonna lose his job, and he might not make it out the end of the year. Do
That
you?
bad, AD?
He might. Yeah. Yo, do y'all understand? Right? That Justin Tucker's kick. Right?
Shout out to
Justin.
Justin.
Right? Justin Tucker. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. This is a crazy stat, and this is true. Y'all could Google it. Do whatever you want. Right?
Best kicker ever.
Listen. No. But listen. Yo, that 66-yard field goal was more yards than the Bears had for the entire game. That's fucking disgusting.
Nah, AD. Word?
Go look it up. I just looked it up. 47 yards. Please go look it up.
Jesus.
Please go look it up.
I don't need to. AD said it is what it is.
Yo, the man has let Trapinski, right? When he had his best year, right? When he made the Pro Bowl, right? What did he do? He rolled out. Right? Fields, an athlete. Why wouldn't you want him to roll out with your shitty ass line? You just want him to just sit there and just get tortured like he's running for his life.
And they got a solid guy running the ball in the backfield. They should absolutely do a little more RPO. Keep him honest. Keep the defense honest. Then you can work in your play action once you keep him honest.
Yeah, I'm glad someone said that. Agnew, whatever his name is. Yo, he got to fucking get the fuck out of there now. Like, yo, ASAP. Like,
You don't even make
I don't want people to get fired. Like, I don't never wish people to get fired, bro. But what he's doing in Chicago to them quarterbacks is a misjustice to these guys' careers, man. Because these guys is gonna get traded, possibly be out the NFL and all that because of this idiot. Yo. You know what I mean? He never put him in a great situation. Never. Yo, the man was 6 for 20 yesterday, bro. 6 for 20. What are we like 6 for 20?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with you. I ain't watching much Chicago at all.
And yo, I'm gonna keep it real with you, right? I'm gonna
It's
even go.
no one is, but those stats just those teeny weeny stats just jumped out to everything. You know what I mean? Like we had to touch it real quick.
47 yards. Come on, cuz little Pop Warner kids is getting more than that, fam.
You know, clearly when you have a
Just see
quarterback like
the Eagles
Fields,
can get more than that.
Yo, that was
you
on.
got the
Yo, I know we might have not watched it, right? But that's a national televised game. Fam.
Right.
Like these are pro
because there's
athletes,
expectations. There's expectations that Chicago was going to do a little damage, and
right?
obviously
Like
Fields, you know, he had a great preseason. He said the game was actually slower than college, you know, so we figured he was going to come in there and do his thing, but that goes, like you said, it goes on the coaching. They should have made in-game adjustments. He should have did a lot more RPOs where he do quick slant screens to get the juices flowing. They never really, you know, made the adjustments they needed to with that poor line.
dog, they got to do something. Silent count something. Like god damn.
I mean, not for nothing. All that is very true about Chicago, but let's not act like Cleveland isn't out here balling. 9 sacks yesterday. Jadeveon Clowney, Myles Garrett on either end. Nobody want to see that. You can't really defend that. I mean,
Yo, at the end of the day, Noah, right?
right.
I don't expect 9 sacks, but I expected them to dominate. Do you
Right.
see, like you just said, did you hear the names they have on their line?
Right.
So at the end of the day, yeah, they're just doing what they're supposed to. But
Right.
Myles Garrett, yeah, that man's a little different.
and he'll crack you with his helmet, fam.
That's
Straight
what
up.
I'm saying. Yo, he's
And
psychologically a little different, bro. Like he's all
he'll
nice
dunk on
and
you.
calm.
AD said that the attic ain't right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
don't want to test him, fam. You gotta watch the quiet
He be
ones, yo.
Anybody with
hearing
that little
voices.
mustache. It's the little mustache, AD. Straight up. I see people with
Yeah,
that.
and his hat cut too, yo. He's bugging.
Right. He get a
He's
pass.
bugging.
I give him a pass. I don't want no problems with him.
Nah,
He don't care about nothing. He came out the house looking like that.
nope, not at all.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about these Patriots and Mac Jones. What you thought?
what?
What you think about them, AD? I mean, Noah.
What?
Noah, you stabbed in first.
I mean,
'Cause I
this
agree
might be
with
a
AD.
very
Until
unpopular
last week, they
opinion.
ain't winning anything.
This might be a very unpopular opinion, but I definitely think Cam Newton has a better record with the New England Patriots right now if he was the starting quarterback. Now, I agree with AD said. His time is gone, granted. But like I mentioned previously, I think it's very important to keep these young quarterbacks on that sideline that first year. Unless you're, I mean, they did that to Mahomes. And Mahomes is probably one of the biggest prospects we've seen come out of quarterback in a long time, just in terms of talent. So if Mahomes could sit a year behind Alex Smith, all of the 5 rookie quarterbacks that we're discussing today should have done the same thing. I think it would have served them a lot more because so much of the quarterback game is this. They don't do too much physically. 3-step drop, 5-step drop, pocket work, pass the ball. It's this. You don't really get, granted, you could throw them into the fire and they can learn on the fly. That could be costly because you start beating up their confidence. Look what happened to Sam Darnold. Look at him now. Just a change of scenery. He took a flight 2 hours down the Eastern Seaboard, and now he's 3-0. This is a kid who we were arguing it doesn't even belong in the league. I think it's so important to give these young dudes an opportunity to learn this game because the football that they know from Pop Warner in high school and college, this is the league, brother. I think it's 0.4% of D1 college football players actually make it here. This is the league. This is nothing that you've seen before. So much of this is this chess game. You've dominated based on just physical ability and raw God-given talent. Now it's X's and O's. Now it's scheme work. Now it's making the proper reads. Now it's you being in control, making sure that line is picking up those blitzes from wherever it may be coming from. You need to know where the mic is. You need to identify all of that. It's hard to see the best move on the chessboard while you're playing. If any of you brothers play chess, I play chess a lot, and I always see the best moves when I'm watching someone else's game. But when you're on the board and you're in it, it makes it a lot more difficult because your perspective is different. I think Mac should have sat on that bench like Tom Brady, like Pat Mahomes, like Aaron Rodgers, like all the greats that we acknowledge today started their career. The quarterback position isn't a matter of physicality, it's a matter of mentality. You can't get that mentality properly if you're getting your face kicked in every Sunday.
That's very true, Noah. That's very true, right? But times has changed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, not only in football, but just in all sports. Like, these young boys are proving that they can play. You know what I mean? Now, like you said, I totally agree with you. The physical traits is there. The mental is not.
Right.
Now, I think people are so well, these athletes are so worried about their marketing that they have to play right away.
It's a business.
I mean, right. They have to play right away.
It's a business, man.
So with that being said, like, even though like you named a lot of greats, that sat back, had to learn, but one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, to me, the greatest regular season quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning. He still holds the record for most interceptions as a rookie. The man almost threw 30 interceptions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So, it's all about his surroundings. Like, he can't be surrounded by the Bears coaching staff. You know what I mean? Like a quarterback. Like, can he be around Andy Reid and be thrown in the fire? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
And Bruce Arians would have taken care of him.
Yes.
Quarterback coaches.
Josh McDaniels.
Solid point, AD.
He's really rubbing me the wrong way. Like, I'm really not liking Josh McDaniels' play calling. I also, like you said, they wanted so much from Matt to throw him in the fire. He's still, like you said, he still has to learn how to check who's the hot guy and all that.
Right.
They haven't let off the leashes yet.
He barely knows those linemen's names. but he's supposed to call the proper protection for them. He's never seen some of these things before. Some of these blitzes are so exotic, he doesn't know where it's coming from. So you're literally just hanging him, on this hook in shark-infested waters, saying, best of luck, kid.
But like I said, it also goes back to play calling because at the same time, you guys are saying you're run, and we're gonna play defense. When the hell are y'all gonna pound the ball?
What did Harris do yesterday?
I don't even know what he did yesterday. Nothing.
A rookie quarterback's best friend is a run game.
Thank you.
If you are going to start a rookie quarterback, you better have a top flight running back. That takes so much pressure off of this guy because all those reads that he's not making in terms of who to send the block, that vet back there is going to pick up that Mike linebacker that's coming through that A gap. It's going to take your head off that you missed because you've never seen this scheme before. You never had to go against Steve Spagnuolo. You never had to go against some of the best defensive minds in the world. You're going to miss a lot of these things. So they're giving them trash running backs. They're giving them poor offensive lines, almost no skilled players out wide, and wishing them the best of luck, and then blaming the quarterback.
And that's why the greatest pilgrim of all time left.
That's a fact. And I mean, you look at that movie
next week, boy. Woo, he's gonna put on a show with Fox.
Bro,
Curse of Brady.
Bro, it's gonna be so bad. He come off a loss too.
Oh, yo, he just threw for 432 against the Rams. What you think he's gonna do against the Patriots with AB coming back?
Whatever he want, Millie Rock, whatever he want.
And they're gonna you heard Bill Belichick, man. We're gonna honor him as Brady Day. Oh man, it's torture.
It is gonna be Brady Day, not the way you want it to be though.
Exactly.
More importantly, AD, correct me if I'm wrong.
Brady, I'm telling y'all.
Correct me if I'm wrong, AD and Lou. I believe I read this somewhere. New England's offseason was the richest offseason in NFL history. They spent more money.
Yep.
They spent more money than anyone has ever and ended up with no skill players. You paid two top 10s who are not top 5, never been top 5. You're paying them top 5 money.
Now,
as far as I know, AD, was Julio Jones traded to Tennessee? He was traded to Tennessee, right? So that means Tennessee put together a better package than you. That's all that means. But they didn't even have more money than you. So what did Tennessee give them that the Patriots didn't, or did they even try? Were their hearts set on 2 tight ends for this rookie quarterback or for whoever they were going to have? Because even if it was Cam, it would be slow. Who's their wide receivers? Aguilar and what's one boy's name? Meyer? That's not going to get it done.
Jacoby Myers. Sound like a goddamn baseball player. Get him the fuck out of here. Like, dog, people got to understand, man, and at the end of the day, right? Bill Belichick never drafts offensive players. He's only worried about defense.
AD said it first.
They tried. They drafted. What's the kid's name? Mikael Henry, Harry, whatever the fuck his name is.
He partied too much. He had my little homie party.
You could have got DK Metcalf.
Facts.
You could have got my man Samuel from the 49ers.
Shout out Debo.
You know what I mean? Like, dog, what are you looking for? Defense. That's it, yo. I mean, he had Brady. Brady can make it work. You know what I mean? I just got to keep creating defenses. You know what I mean? The curse is up, baby. The jig is up. The jig is up.
Well, fellas, you already know how. You already know how I feel, man. And this is like Groundhog Day all over. Every Sunday, Groundhog Day, seeing the same old that we've been talking about. And it's to the point I feel bad for Mac. I'm like a little embarrassed. I wish I could go pat him on the back. But now you got the head coach grabbing his hand like he's taking his child to preschool and walking him into class. I mean, this is what it's come down to. And you're talking about we're talking about the richest offseason in history. That was a panic move. You know what I'm saying? We all know the coach said, "Oh my God, this guy's beat me out. He won a championship over here. What can I do?" He finally empties, the bank, okay, instead of spending on himself. So with that being said,
massages.
You know what I mean? So he thought he was going to be able to come in here in the AFC and do some damage. So now it's all about damage control. But once again, like I told you before, he's already bought himself 3 years of cushion because it's going to be the same thing. We have a rookie quarterback. Be patient. He's got to let things gel. So as long as we stay in that mentality, everything is fine. He throws a couple dink and dunks. He's not trying to win the game, lose the game. But as you saw this week, once you put that pressure on him, and it's not a scheme he's familiar with, he reminded me, it was kind of reminiscent of Drew Bledsoe when he got happy feet, just throwing the ball anywhere. And it was, people like him to be, liking him to be great.
And them rich ass tight ends ain't help his ass neither.
Y'all gonna start disrespecting Drew Bledsoe like that, cuz I fuck with you.
But I'm gonna say his style of play is more Drew Bledsoe-ish than, don't ever say Brady. But that's what it is, man. I feel bad for him at this point because I don't see anything changing no time soon.
Nah, they got to get Josh McDaniels the fuck out of there. That weak ass corner, yo, dog. Them plays is done. Like he has to expand that mind, yo. He has to expand that mind, yo. Like,
right.
They're so plain vanilla. It's not even funny, like
because they have no talent.
Right.
You're gonna have a basic ass playbook when you got basic ass players.
But like you just brought up, you spent $163 million this offseason. And how many offensive players you brought in? Aguilar,
Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, who's throwing the ball into the defender's hands, by the way.
Yeah. Don't even feature Hunter, the dude Hunter. He's nice too. Don't even feature him.
Yeah. I don't know what New England's doing. At least for my team, AD, I could say, we
ain't doing much. They're not doing much, Lou. They ain't doing much.
Baby. Yo,
right now, right?
That
coach is there, they'll never sniff a championship again.
What about to be over the first quarter of the season, basically, right? They're about to be 1-3.
Oh, the
schedule,
absolutely.
They're about to be 1-3, and it's going to be an ugly third loss. Ugly.
Yo, this man Brady's going to look like the Messiah out there. Oh my God.
Greatest pilgrim ever.
Hey, Noah.
What up, B?
Who's today's best running back?
Best running back in the league right now. I mean,
I
think you would be crazy as hell not saying Derrick Henry.
Yeah, the king.
Shout out to that dude.
You heard what I said last week.
Is he by far the best running back, though?
See, the thing is, and this is what I mentioned last time we spoke about him, if they can really work him into the passing game, because back when he was at Alabama, I mean, the scouting report says soft hands for a big guy. Mm-hmm. Last year, he had 19 catches. Through the first 2 weeks of the season, I didn't check what he caught yesterday, but for the first 2 weeks of the season, he had 10. So they're making it a point to get him that ball.
Right.
Like I mentioned to you, I played defense. The last thing you want to do as a defender is see someone 6'3", 240 pounds who runs a 4.4 with a full head of steam. You start featuring Derrick Henry in screens, and then your last hope is a safety. That safety is going to have to make that business decision. Safety can't tackle Derrick Henry one-on-one. He's going to get embarrassed. You start putting Derrick Henry in space and letting him get 4 or 5 steps into his stride before you even have a shot to tackle him. I mean, I think he's the best right now, and he's not even a full threat in the pass game, just rushing the ball. You got to think about this, D. I've been playing football a long time. I've been watching football a long time. Never have I ever seen a team be down 2 scores in the second half and say, fuck it, we win anyway. He's that good. He's our best shot at coming back from 2 scores down in the second half. Fuck it. Give him the ball 41 times. Let him carry, let him run everything over, mow everybody down, and erase a double-digit deficit. Like, even just as a player in football, I know when I got you down by 2 scores and it's the second half, I'm pinning my ears back. I'm shooting gaps. I'm blitzing. But now I got this dude still running. It's 3 minutes left in the third quarter. Y'all are down 10, 14 points. What are you doing? Now that's how good he is. When your offensive coordinator can say, fuck the two touchdown deficit, run it again, and then erase it and then win the game. I mean, I don't think there's another running back in this league that any offensive coordinator will feel comfortable saying that. Fuck the 14-point deficit, run it anyway.
Yo, like I said last week, fellas, he's the only running back ever, 2000 in high school, 2000 in college, and 2000 in the NFL.
And he might get 2000 again this year.
And now, right now,
Lou,
to bring up your point, Noah, that you brought up about him catching the ball. Did y'all see what he did to Leonard? Did y'all see that? That's one of the best linebackers in the NFL. He trucked, sent him 5 yards off the screen.
He got
6'2". Like, Noah, you play football. You know what I mean? DC, you play football. You know what I mean? I'm making that business decision, right? Never mind hitting low. I'm hitting him in his shins. Literally.
And and the crazy shit is, AD, you still probably gonna get hurt.
Exactly.
You gonna get hurt trying to hit him.
Let me get loose take.
Well, absolutely. There's nothing to refute with these guys. Henry, he's just a beast. I never thought he'd be this good in the league. You know what I mean? But he's taking care of his body. He's training hard. If you watch his training regimen, he's probably the most dedicated workaholic in the league. You know what I'm saying? So there's no surprise here. And like Noah said, the game plan with just running the ball, even behind, is remarkable. It changed the way people play defense and things of that nature. So just him being on the field, he's the best player.
Easy button.
Easy.
What y'all think about the Chiefs' slow start? Y'all worried?
I told it.
AD called
They're gonna turn it around. What's going on with them?
Bro, it don't matter. For them, they have one objective, one goal. Anything other than that is a failed season. Right now, doesn't matter to them. And I think that can be dangerous, like AD said. When you develop that lackadaisical kind of mindset and you lose that killer instinct, that's why they're losing these games. It's not that they're not good enough. It's not that they've lost their touch. They still got fucking Money Mahomes. They still got all the pieces that they have. I think that they did a really good job running the ball. It was nice to see a 100-yard runner in that, and not for nothing, he only had 17 carries. He was getting more than 5 yards a carry. Now, granted, they lost, but I'm not going to attribute them losing to that, to the change scheme and the change approach in the game. There were some bad turnovers. That same running back had a wicked fumble, and Mahomes threw a shitty ball at the end for an interception. I don't think that they've woken up yet. I would still bet any amount of money that nobody wants to play them come January, and they will be there, whether it's a first seed or how many seeds they letting in this year? 8. Whether it's a first seed or 8 seed, it don't matter where you got to play them. It don't matter how much you're up on them. They will erase everything. They will erase your lead. They will erase your confidence in the blink of an eye, and then you're left picking up the pieces, figuring out what the fuck just happened. Nobody wants to see Kansas City. I don't give a fuck what their regular season record is. They will be playing in January. Nobody's going to want to fucking play them.
Yo, to follow what Noah just said, like I've been saying, like the Chiefs should be 0-3. Like they really should be 0-3.
And my sentiments would be the exact same at 0-3.
Right. And I would say the same thing too. Like if they get that one, like all it takes for them is that light switch and they turn it on. But the thing is, like I've been saying, sometimes you can't snap that. You can't snap them fingers and turn that switch on.
Right.
So my thing, though, like I said, Mahomes put a bullseye on him already because you already said you wanted to go 20-0 before the season started. You know what I mean? That's all you said. That was the only record. You didn't say championship. You said that was the only record. You didn't even say I want a championship. You're like, I want to go 20-0. Like, okay, you want to go 20-0. You didn't show that game 1. You lost game 2 and you lost game 3. You know what I mean? So now, like I said, him as a leader, he has to get those guys together and tell them, and he has to lead by example, like Lou said, like that no look, that's in his game, but he didn't need the no look right there. The guy was wide open. There was no need for the no look. The man would have still been running for days if he would have caught that. So, with all that being said, the Chiefs are still going to me be in the AFC Championship, though.
Worst case scenario. But they might have to see King Henry, and he might run through everybody and send them home. Now, especially if they got to go to Tennessee.
Now, this is my thing, though, right? This is my thing, because we already seen this episode before. Derrick Henry can't come back from 2 touchdowns down on KC.
Oh no.
Right. We already seen that. We seen that last year. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. I'm glad Andre brought that up in the group. The problem is the big plays. Tyreek is not getting off anymore. They're doubling them. They're letting Travis Kelce and everybody else eat, and they're taking Tyreek Hill out the game.
Right.
They're explosive. They're explosive plays. You know, that's like having somebody that catches 7 dunks a game in basketball. Like, it gets the crowd wild up. It gets the players wild up.
Right.
You don't have that excitement. You know, you start questioning yourself.
Right. It breaks morale. It's like Curry pulling up from 35 and you play great defense and that shit goes in. That shit crushes you. You got to build yourself back up to get back. It's tough. When Tariq is catching 60-yard bombs, blowing by people, throwing up the peace signs, that crushed you. You know what I'm saying? Because you played your hardest. You did everything in your power to stop this dude and there was nothing you could do. And you just got to start realizing, like, this dude is just superior to me. And that's the worst thing you could do as a football player. Once you get in your head, playing football is worse than basketball is worse than anything else. Then you start getting hurt, and then you start making mistakes, and then you start having major collapses because you're up here now. Football has to be a very cerebral game. You can't be out there thinking because it's so fast, and every play is like that. You out there thinking, acting stupid in the way, you're going to get yourself hurt, or somebody else hurt, or cost your team. Absolutely.
No.
So the way I look at it, those two, they could be 0-3, right? But they would be good losses. So those 2 losses, I have no concerns at all. We have to realize this is like any other team that's, when they play that powerhouse, they're giving their A effort. So everybody they play is a championship. I mean, even my guys in Baltimore, when they won, they were amped up, you know what I'm saying, pumped up and all that stuff, like it was a championship. And that's how people played. And the no-look passes and stuff like that, Pat's still playing around. You know what I mean? I just think they're really just getting the kinks out. And look what the other teams did in terms of even beating them. They did unconventional things, going for it on 4th down numerous times. It didn't even make sense. They had the ball, you know what I mean? And you go for 4, you know, go just for possession. They want to hold the ball and not give Pat a chance. So no matter how bad he's playing, 3 turnovers in a row, okay? It doesn't matter. People still definitely afraid of this team. This team's going to be there at the end. They have nothing really to worry about. As long as their defense, the DBs hold up, you know, Honey Badger, as long as he stays healthy, they're going to be there at the end, man.
That's another thing, too. Their defense is letting them down, too.
Facts.
They're not getting to the quarterback like they used to. Chris Jones is not the same.
Did he play yesterday? I know his wrist is banged up. I don't think he played.
I don't think he played either, but, you know, like, that's a big name off that line.
Yeah, he's their best in their front 7.
So, you know, everything is, you know, complimentary. You know, that line has to help that backside, you know. Just like even in the Tampa game, like Stafford didn't get sacked until like the 2-minute mark in the 4th quarter.
Right.
You know what I mean? Everything that Tampa did, and they're a blitzing team, they picked it up. And that's why them DBs even looked even stupider than they already do.
And it's crazy, AD, because they were down their 1st and 2nd starting running backs.
Right.
And still got it done.
Right.
Yo, I've always been a fan of Stafford. I don't think there's anything he lacks in terms of arm talent. I think he can throw every pass, whatever kind of pass you need. And this is what I say just in sports in general. It's always a matter of fucking circumstance. When you don't have Cooper Kupp and you don't have Robert Woods and you don't have that kind of talent, everything is cohesive. You know what I'm saying? You're only going to look as good as you have. Like, if you have really, really good wide receivers, you're going to look like a better quarterback. If you got ass receivers, it don't matter how good you are. We've seen Brady struggle in that last year in New England, not because he wasn't good anymore, because he took a flight down south and threw 40 touchdowns. It's never just about how good you are. It's about all the context. It's about all the circumstances that allow you to unlock your full potential and be as good as we know you to be.
Definitely.
And I'm not sure who said it, but I read it at the bottom. Someone said Tyreek is in clamps. And I don't think that's necessarily true either. And I think you got to touch back on what I was saying about Mike Evans 2 weeks ago. When you are the number 1 receiver in these offenses, you're going to draw the number one defensive back, and you're going to draw safety help. That's why if you look at Kansas City's last 3 games, you got guys scoring touchdowns that we've never heard of before. The kid, who was it last night? Fortson?
Pringle. Oh, you like the kid Pringle, don't you?
It was Fortson.
Pringle's nice.
No, it was Fortson yesterday. All of this is a byproduct of Tyreek Hill being on the field. Fortson scoring a touchdown yesterday. No one knows who Jay Fortson is. Pringle might have a lot of talent, but none of us really knew who he was last week. These dudes are scoring these easy touchdowns, pitch and catch touchdowns, because Tyreek has taken every defender's attention off of everyone else. It's really the attitude, like even AD, you can vouch for this in basketball, let someone else beat us.
Right.
He makes that possible. Those dudes aren't getting open. These dudes aren't running these beautiful routes. They're getting open as a byproduct of Tyreek Hill being on the field and demanding the attention of their best defensive back and safety help over the top.
Yeah, definitely. But once they once Tyreek gets more involved, they even have to even run him a little more. Like he's that electrifying.
Jet sweeps, all that. Yeah. Get in your bag.
They haven't. It's still early in the season. Andy Reid. He ain't empty the shotgun yet. You know what I mean?
Right. And I still think there's another chapter to their offensive playbook, because it looks like, and like I was mentioning to you guys, they're going to be intentional about getting Clyde Edwards-Helaire that ball. 17 touches is the most he's had in almost a year. 17 touches. He gave him 100 yards. He caught 2 passes for, I believe, 10 yards. They want to make defense. They want to keep defenses honest. Granted, you paid Patty $500 million. But if you become predictable, and again, that's why I think Green Bay is going to run into issues, because they're that fucking predictable. I know what they're going to do before they do it. If I can figure it out, I don't get paid millions of dollars to drop defensive schemes to stop you. These defensive coordinators do, though. If you can't keep defenses honest, defensive players are just as good. We mentioned all these skilled players on offense. You mentioned Tyreek, you mentioned Pat Mahomes. There's some really fucking good defensive players, and they're really fucking smart, and they're coached by really, really smart guys as well. If you don't start making yourself more dynamic and stop asking Mahomes to drop back 35 times, even though he can, and even though you'll still probably win, that's not going to work against Tom Brady. You saw that last year. If you can't keep defenses honest, you're not going where you think you're going. So shout out to them for being intentional about establishing a run game where your running back got you more than 5 yards to carry. And I think that's all going to come together, because now it's not just put the safeties back 12 yards off on the hash. It's not just cover 3 anymore. It's not just cover 2 inside of Mahomes. If you don't, this running back is going to get you more than 5 yards to carry. He's going to bleed you like he did to Buffalo last year. He has the talent to do it. If anyone watched him at LSU, they spent the first-round pick on him. They get that unlocked in terms of that running game, and now you got fucking play action in Kansas City, man. There's no defense.
Stab in, Lou. Go ahead, Lou. Then we're gonna jump to the last topic.
Right. So, AD and I was talking about this earlier. They made a concerted effort to incorporate this Helaire kid in there because, and that's why I say
also fumble that cost him the game. They still gave it to him.
That's exactly what I said. It's deliberate. You know what I mean? So this is why I'm saying they're not focused on winning these regular season games right now. They're preparing for the future. They're preparing for the playoffs. They're putting the trust in this guy. Although they don't trust him, they say you're gonna earn your trust. You're gonna do this and you're gonna do that. Still run this ball. I know you got butterfingers, but you still have to do your job. Right. We're relying on you to do what you need to do to take the pressure off, Patty. So, that's what I like about Andy Reid. He's a phenomenal coach. He makes adjustments on the fly, and that's why I'm not worried about these guys right now.
Right. And not for nothing, Luke, they're not worried about them. They're not worried about them. They're straight.
But I'm glad Luke brought that up, though, right? That's always been Andy Reid's kryptonite, though. His whole coaching career, from Philly, from Westbrook, and all of them, he don't run the ball enough. Mm-hmm. He don't run the ball enough.
Not enough balance. Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So he has to, and I hope his health is all right. I know he got sent to the hospital for dehydration yesterday too.
He came out right before we started. I got an alert. He's out the hospital. Shout out to Andy. Walrus looking ass.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Gotta lay off those cheeseburgers, those double cheeseburgers with 2 slices of bacon, extra cheese. You know what I mean?
He's crazy with that. That's why
Lou, calm down. There's nothing wrong with that combination.
Okay? We want you. We want you to stick around. You got to lay off it, man.
But yeah, I'm gonna take us into the last topic, man. Pats and Bucks predictions. AD, Lou, and Noah. I'm gonna let you close it out.
Oh man, I got
Yeah.
the greatest pilgrim ever getting fucking. They're gonna pay homage to him. As soon as the game start, they're gonna boom, and that shit don't mean a motherfucking thing. You understand me? 41-16 Bucks. Fucking bums. Don't ever trade the greatest pilgrim ever in sports.
Shout out AD.
Fucking idiots.
Yeah, man. I'm with you, AD. Obviously, we're going with the GOAT. I think they're going to beat him up pretty bad. I don't think they're going to boo Brady at all. I think he's going to get the standing ovation the whole entire game. They're going to love him. They're going to start chanting his name all throughout the crowd. It's going to be like a Super Bowl effect. It's going to be crazy, man. As far as the Pats, I don't know what they're going to do. I know that they're all going to be pumped up, so you're going to have a lot of, some jitters. So they may be in the game the first 2 quarters or so, but after that, it's going to get blown out. I'm going to give it like 42-10.
Damn, Lou, that's crazy. I was gonna say 41-10.
For real?
I got him scoring 5 touchdowns and 2 field goals late. Easy 5 touchdowns though. Brady gonna be on one. Brady definitely gonna be on one. He be hanging out with Rick Ross and shit. He got that playlist rocking. He's gonna get real spooky.
Yes, sir.
I feel real bad, man. It's just y'all gonna have to watch y'all savior kill y'all. I can't imagine what that's like.
Nah,
So
I'm gonna enjoy every minute of it.
All 3 is on record for a blowout, pretty much.
Yeah, it's gonna get ugly.
And I can't wait.
You see, let me go on record saying this too. I won't be surprised if it's a shutout.
Yo, listen, right? I can't wait to see Belichick's face when he has to go fucking shake fucking Tom Brady's hand, yo. That is gonna be, oh my fucking God.
Yo, y'all heard what Tom Brady's trainer was saying about Belichick?
Yeah, he fucking slayed them, yo.
Yeah.
He fucking slayed them. Nigga say he need to adapt to times.
Yeah, he said, and this was interesting to me. What is his trainer's name? Gutierrez? Guerrero?
Alex Guerrero.
Yeah. He said, despite Tom being 40, Bill was still treating him like he was 20.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that shit. I'm like, what?
Now, like I get it because I've had coaches my whole life. I speak to my coaches to this day, and I mean, real good coaches take us in as young men, like damn near father figures, somewhat. But that's really interesting to me because that clearly had to play a part in him being like, I'm out of here. If you're not being respected as a man, and you feel like your colleague essentially is little man in you, and you 40 years old with 3 kids and a wife. I can't let that slide for too long. You feel what I'm saying? Like it might have even been deeper than X's and O's and lack of talent. Like I don't even feel like I'm being respected as a man. Fuck a quarterback, fuck a football player, fuck an employee. Like as a man, I'm 40 fucking years old. This man treating me like I'm 20. Can't do that.
So Noah, early in the week we had a thread about Alex Guerrero and his credibility, and I just want to give a little context about who he is. And I don't know if like the younger guys know who this guy is. He came to the Patriots via Willie McGinnis. You guys know about Willie. Yep. Willie's not just a football player.
Shout out Willie.
A big powerhouse in California. So Alex was around him in high school at that Polytech school that produced a lot of NFL. That's right. So Alex came, to the Patriots via Willie. Willie kind of groomed Brady back in the early days when Brady used to hang out at the clubs in Quincy and stuff like that. So those two formed a good relationship. With that relationship, Alex was able to get into all the other players' personal lives in their conditioning. And I don't know, a lot of you guys don't know that, it got to the point that the Patriots staff, the medical staff, was not seeing any of the players. Alex had them all at his facility.
Right.
And, so by him saying these things, by Alex saying these derogatory things, they're just not coming from Alex. They're coming from all these players through that 20-year span that's come in and received that personal treatment from Alex. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bad look for the head coach, man, and I just feel bad. And he's reliving this every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be paramount come this week. He might stroke out. He might be the next one getting carted off, going to MGH, man, for some, I don't know, dehydration or something. You know, watch out for that.
Yo, Lou, real quick, last point, DC, if we could. Lou, that's really interesting because I know who he is. I didn't know the origins of where he came from and what he's about. But do you think other teams start emulating him? Because clearly, I know what I do know about him is he has a more vegan-based, more a more holistic approach to medicine and sports. And
So
if
we
all
give
these players are finding better results with him, do you think the NFL starts adopting different approaches instead of just conventional doctors and medical professionals? Because it's clearly working. If that many of the Patriots are at this dude's office, that the medical staff from the New England Patriots isn't helping their players, that matters. You feel what I'm saying?
So once again, this is a big background. You have to know a lot of it. So that the team wants control over the player. That's why the team has a team doctor and things of that nature. Okay, so they can get the inside scoop of what these guys are doing, and they want to know, like when they say Bill's getting rid of somebody because he knows he's injured, sort of like the Lloyd Malloy story. You know, he hurt his shoulder and he got rid of him, sent him to Buffalo. People didn't know he had a major injury, but the team doctor let him know. So with that being said, teams want to have control, and if Alex is doing that, that's bad for the organizations. They don't want Alex in the organization because now they're in the dark about what a player's, potential injuries are and things of that nature. So, and then we also give Tom a lot of credit for all his pliability and stuff like that. That is completely Alex. Alex is the one who changed his life. Alex is the one who's preserving his career. So a lot of people are going to that same style of training and nutrition and things of that nature. So, I got to give the dude credit. He had a checkered past, you know what I mean? But who doesn't? But his results are proven. Even there's a couple of players, that, I won't even mention. Of course, I have some sources and things of that nature. But the key is that a lot of these guys are not talking about it right now because they don't know the coach's future with the organization. So imagine a former player going back, they'll go back game day and reap all the benefits and things of that nature. They cannot come out and say something derogatory right now because they won't be able to go back to the games on any capacity and things of that nature.
Good point, Lou. Good
Yeah,
point.
Lou. Appreciate the knowledge, Lou.
Real.
Yo, let me piggyback off that. Let me add something to that though. Noah, there's no way teams will ever adapt that philosophy of having a man like him take over. Just think about it. They're taking money from the organization. You know what I mean? They would never let that happen. It's kind of like if you want to compare it to basketball, Rich Paul. Like, they're refusing to give Rich Paul all that money, like all the power. Like Rich Paul wanted it all. You know what I mean? He's coming for it. He's hungry. I ain't mad at him either, but they're not giving it to him. They're not gonna give him all that power, yo. They're not.
Fair points. Fellas, man,
I appreciate you guys, fellas. Those are some great points, man. Lou, you hit that on the nose. Noah, AD, Lou, I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for coming out.
Appreciate you too, bro.
Y'all are very much appreciated, man.
Thank
guys,
you.
Run up on me, talk to me about you guys, the way you guys kick it. Like, and there's some guys that want to join and come join the panel, man. Talk with y'all.
Yeah, man.
They clearly see y'all know y'all shit and they want to join the conversation, which is good.
As always, we appreciate the invite. We glad to be here, man. We appreciate being here.
Yes, we are.
All day. So let's keep it going, man. I appreciate y'all. Let's subscribe to Sit and Talk Sports on YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Let's follow us on Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the major social media platforms, man. We are Sit and Talk Sports. That shirt is absolutely motherfucking terrible.
Just got here today, baby. Just got that first pack from my people down in Atlantic.
That shirt is terrible.
Shout out my people down at Barclays. We getting ready. You see the shorts I had on yesterday, DC? The official road.
Opening night's about to be crazy in Brooklyn.
I need to get you one of these to put you on one of these, man. But let me finish closing this out real quick, man, so we can all finish out our night. I appreciate y'all, man. Like I said, go follow us on Sit and Talk Sports. All the social media platforms. Definitely subscribe, like or dislike. Give us a comment. Positive, negative, whatever, man. We take it all. Appreciate y'all. Thanks.